What is up, everybody? Justin here. I'm back. I know it's been a while. As you can see, my setup is different. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I guess, I posted a couple pictures where I rearranged my whole room here. I brought all of my records upstairs to the upstairs room of my house. They've always been in my living room, but all of my other stuff, CDs, tapes, everything else was up in this extra room. So we actually bought some new living room furniture, and my records didn't work. So we moved all of them up here, and I spent, some time rearranging and cleaning, and it's still a giant mess. But I got a few new things to talk about that I've picked up. Not much. I got some shameless promotion to do, and if you guys like this setup, I'm going to stick with it moving forward. And I had a copy of what we're listening to, and I can't find it. Now that my records are up here, we can listen to records. This is Impurity. You're going to have to ignore the light ring until I figure something out. This is Impurity with Bonfim Mortivis. This is Brazilian bestial deathcore, death metal, black metal. Impurity was one of those bands that, until I got this, I'd never heard of them. But it's just nasty. It's nasty, thick, bestial, grindy Brazilian death metal. And I want to say this is a demo track. No, old demo from '91, re-recorded, and new tracks from 2011. That's when this came out. I did the layout for this. Actually, Yosuke from NWN did the layout, and then I put it all together he did the pieces, and I put it all together. Anyway, I haven't listened to this one forever. Something prompted me to listen to it. I remembered liking it a whole lot. So now that I can listen to records while I'm up here, that's what I'm going to do. So, anyway, to get into what we got, first up, I have a few records and then a few CDs. This is Lurid Panacea with the Insidious Poisons. I don't know anything about this band. Paulo from P2 Records, who's also the singer in Unborn Salivate with me, he sent me this. It's on his label, and considering that there are 47 tracks on it, it's probably death grindy. If it's not, it probably sucks. So I can't wait to listen to this. It's got really nasty artwork. So it is American, as far as I know. It's American and Australian. That's pretty cool. So I can't wait to throw this on. Maybe it's nasty as fuck. Knowing Paulo, it's got to be nasty as fuck. So black vinyl. It's a matte jacket. It's really nice. Paulo, with his label, he does not skimp around. Then I went to Tampa, Florida a few weeks ago. I had to go down there for work, actually. I had to go to a conference and spent a weekend on the beach. My wife and kid went with me. They played on the beach. The weather was decent while I sat in classes with work. But then on the way out of town, I found time to go to Steelworker Records. I actually was in St. Petersburg, which is south of Tampa, if you're familiar with geography at all. About an hour or so from Steelworker, but it was right on the way home. So I told her, we have to stop by Steelworker. I bought two records. The first one, Mysticum. I talked about Mysticum in several videos ago. I've got this bootleg demo CD, and this is, I want to say, everything up to the full length. They've only done the one full length, but this is really nice. It's got a really nice gatefold, lots of liner notes, pictures of all the demos, and double vinyl, black vinyl, printed inner sleeves. I'm not crazy about the kind of modern, artwork, but whatever. This shit is just fucking nasty. It's nasty industrial tinged black metal. That's not really industrial at all. The first 5 or 6 songs are the Mysticum band, Sabazios, and it straight up sounds like black metal Salin, black metal Samhain, Glenn Danzig's band. The drum patterns, and it's real ritualistic sounding, but it sounds so much like, you know, a black metal version of November Coming Fire or something. It's awesome. A kind of weird complaint about this is like they haven't split up the demos per sides, so you've got like 4 songs and then 3 songs on the side B, and then this song here is the end of the first demo, and the second demo starts and it goes into side C, and then side C and D. Half of side C and D are the last one. It's weird. You can't listen to the entire thing on one side. It's split up, but that's a minor complaint. This is awesome. It sounds great. It was released by Peaceful, 2013. Bought it sealed. Really, really glad to pick this up. I am a very, very recent Mysticum convert. So, also on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Turbo Negro, Apocalypse Dudes. I can't get that light to go away. Apocalypse Dudes. I've never talked about Turbo Negro on the channel. We will when we get to the teas and the CD collection. I have 3 of their CDs. I love Turbo Negro, but I only really, really, really like worship the trilogy, these 3 albums: Scandinavian Leather, Apocalypse Dudes, and Party Animals. Especially this record, man. This shit fucking rules. If you are unfamiliar with Turbo Negro, they are a snotty, sleazy, melodic punk rock band from Sweden. And they are just... No, they're not from Sweden. They're from Norway. But I never knew much about them. I'd always seen the name. They were always associated with metal bands. Like, they were in Metal Maniacs and stuff like that. And I didn't get into them until... If anybody remembers the show Wild Boys on MTV in the early 90s, it was the Jackass spinoff where Steve-O and Chris Pontius would go to, you know, third world countries and do fucked up jackass stuff with animals. The first song on this album was the theme song to that show. I used to love that song, and I was like, whatever this song is, I want to check this band out. Found out it was Turbo Negro. Then I found out that that song is all about a pizza place they like to eat at. It's really silly. I was like, I don't like silly music. And I don't know what prompted me several years later to listen to them again. And all the silly shit went out the window. It's the whole fucking record. Every record they've ever done is fucking goofy. It's silly songs about sex and drugs and, you know, there's a song called Don't Say Motherfucker, Motherfucker, Rendezvous with Anus, Prince of the Rodeo, Back to Dungaree High. It's all about wearing blue jeans. I can't even tell you, you know, but if you're familiar with Turbo Negro, I am a Hank Hill purist. He was their longtime singer who left several years ago. I'm not a fan of the new guy. I don't like him live. I don't like him on record. They've put out 2 or 3 albums with him. I can't get into them. I don't like the early Turbo Negro stuff that much either. It's just not for me. I've tried, but those 3 records, man, are so goddamn good. And I had no idea they've been re-released. This is Indie Recordings, came out last year. The gatefold, keep doing that on the wrong side. The gatefold is just Hank Hill. Hank Hill's eyes with his like goofy corpse paint. Sorry guys, I will get the angles and fucking which way shit goes worked out. But and much to my surprise when I grabbed it, there's the band. They all wear blue jeans and sailor hats and shit. I'm telling you, man, they're goofy as fuck if you don't know them. This is on white vinyl. Very nice. This was the only one they had. If they had the other 2 that I like, I would have bought them as well. They didn't have them. So I only bought those 2 records there. I bought 2 CDs. I thought I bought 3 CDs. Maybe I only bought 2 CDs. Total random purchases because I didn't have them. The first At the Gates full lengths. With that Fear I Kiss the Burning Darkness as a digipack. Red the Sky is Ours is a regular jewel case. I love At the Gates, and I'm definitely one of those guys who got into At the Gates because of Slaughter at the Soul. When I really started to get into underground death metal, that was the new record, around 96, 97. And then I bought Terminal Spirit Disease, and just never, I don't know why I never really, and I have Gardens of Grief, which is weird, and the only reason I have Gardens of Grief is because I randomly found it somewhere one day, years ago, and I love that material. Which one came first? This was 93, and this was 92. Okay, so, I really like this record, and I've heard these before, don't get me wrong. I've listened to them before, not enough to really remember a lot of them. I know a couple of the songs, like, you know, Kingdom Gone and Through Gardens of Grief, those are on the EP. All Life Ends. But I really like this record. It sounds, I mean, All At the Gates sounds like At the Gates, but it sounds a little more like, I don't know, a little more melodic. It's not as heavy as Gardens of Grief, but I like this album. This one, I cannot really get into. I find myself checking out and not listening to the whole thing. I've got to really give it a chance. So, At the Gates fans, which one of these do you like better? Tell me in the comments. But I like these. I'm glad I have them. I'm definitely a fan of the next two records, and I like the newer records too. So, but okay. So, some shameless promotion. This ain't gonna be a super long video. First up, we have, I finally got the record copies of this side, the new, in the middle, the new Incarnation album. This is We Proclaim Your Death, O Lord. Of course, Incarnation is my band. We play super doomy death metal. This is our 4th album, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I have these for sale on the Incarnation Bandcamp page if you are in America. If you are in Europe, order them from Self-Made God. But I only have a few copies. And it's a really nice matte jacket. Artwork came out nice. Those of you who are wondering, this is probably like the simplest artwork we've ever done. But it is the close-up of a background of an old Renaissance painting of a crucifix hanging on the wall. And the picture down in front is a body in a casket. And people are weeping over it. But I really liked just the crucifix in the background. And I feel like this record's real swampy and murky, so I made it green. It was originally kind of brown looking. And then the back is not the picture from that art, but it's a similar picture of people weeping over a body in a coffin. And then the inside is some pictures of some skulls, some dead shit. And it says, "What are these churches now if they are not the tombs and sepulchres of God?" I read that online somewhere. All the lyrics. There's no insert or anything because everything's on the inside. And then I still have some of these. If you want one, it's a double LP. So it's 2 records. And I still have a few copies on this wild fucking pink and black vinyl. I don't know what possessed me to do this obnoxious ass color, but I fucking love it. When the label asked me what color do you want to do, I looked through them and I picked that. So go check out my store. I'll link it in the description. Go check that out. Give us a support. There's tapes too if you want a tape. I don't have any CD copies. We got our CD copies for that on tour in Europe, and we sold them all. So I didn't even bring one home for myself. I'm going to have to get more from the label sometime. Alright, so next, more promotion. This is kind of indirect. This is the new EP/demo/debut release from Kandra with Foul Formations. Kandra is a death metal band, the brainchild of Wayne, who me and Ben Smasher talk about a lot. Wayne's a very good friend of ours. Wayne was the drummer and father of Foul for about 9 years. He's one of my best friends. He's the drummer in Incarnation. Haha. And he's been in the Incarnation since we started. He doesn't play with us live anymore. We have a live drummer, but he is the recording drummer. But this is his band. Wayne lives in California. He's doing this with one old member of Golgotha that he was in and another guy named Frankie. And it is, you know, just kind of different sounding death metal. It's not your standard, like, old school death metal. It's not weird and, like, off kilter. Golgotha was a little weird and angular, and I don't think a lot of people got it. I fucking loved it. I thought that was the heaviest shit that Dark Descent put out when they put their record out. This is really, really, really good, though. I don't even know how to describe, like, it sounds like this or it sounds like that. Like, I know who Wayne's favorite bands are, but I know that he doesn't try to emulate his favorite bands. It doesn't sound, it's not as heavy, it's like crushing as Decrepitath was. It's not as weird and obtuse as Golgotha was. But man, it's good. It's 4 songs, totally fucking great production, totally analog. It's just solid. But you can pick these up at their Bandcamp page. They may be gone. They only did 100 copies of them. Comes with a couple stickers. So check out Kandra. It fucking rules. So, and I'm glad he's got a full band put together. Then, I talked about the record when I had the LP copies out. But now I have tape and CD copies of Unborn Salivate. Of course, Unborn Salivate is my brutal, guttural, pingy death metal band. There's the tape. So, and Paulo, who runs P2 Records to put out that Lurid Panacea record, he sings on this with me. I've talked about all that before. Now, why are there 2 different covers? I'll tell you. We were first approached by a label in Thailand to do this album on CD, and he commissioned this artwork by Sickness 666, the Thai artist. And let me tell you, that shit fucking came out spectacular. It is gross and nasty. It's like an airbrush painting. But I gave him like a real basic idea, and he nailed it. It's fucking amazing. While we were waiting on that to happen, Paulo said, can I release it on vinyl on my label? I said, let's do it. We didn't have this artwork ready, so we commissioned another artist, this dude named Andrew, to do, Andrew Hinton. Andrew to do this piece of artwork. It's like this crazy Xerox thing. So we used that for the LP and the tape. And then I did all of this collage work, and I did all of the inside layout. And it is on yellow tapes. These like pissy puss yellow tapes. And then the CD art was ready. And Paulo said, let's do an American CD version. So we did it using the original art. And the layout utilizes the inside art that I have like Xeroxed and cut and pasted together, but it's the same artwork from the front. And then we used Andrew's art from the back of the LP for the back of the CD. Now, the Thai version on Sick Chainsaws Productions will look just like this, except it has our original demo on it, tacked on as bonus tracks. So there's an American version and the like Eastern version, Far East version. So some people will pick up both. Some people will pick up whichever one's easier for them. They're virtually identical. You get some extra bonus tracks if you pick up the one from Thailand, which, as far as I know, is at press now. I've talked about it before. I cannot tell you how proud I am of that album. I've wanted to do like a really brutal death metal, death grind album for years and years and years. It's something I couldn't do on my own, but I finally found people. Dylan, our drummer, he lives out in California. I met him when he toured with us one time, and we stayed in touch, and he did all the drumming. I wrote all the guitars. And Paulo, who was just like a holy grail type vocalist, wanted to do the vocals. And man, I'm so pleased with that album. I listen to my phone on shuffle a lot in my car driving around, and it comes up on my shuffle all the time, and I always listen to it. I'm just really proud of it. If you can't listen to the music you write, you should be. you should be proud of the music you're writing and putting out. And I used to not listen to music that I wrote and put out. But now I do, and I feel like the more I want to listen to it, the better I've made it. So, speaking of music I make, this is just a flyer. I don't know if I've talked about this on, hold that closer, on YouTube or not, but this is a flyer for the demo from another new band I'm in called Infestament. Guys, my brain goes 1,000 miles an hour all day long, and behind my, having a job and taking care of my family, my wife and my kid, and helping provide a life for us and them, the number one thing I'm passionate about is music, and listening to music and playing music, and I cannot rest on my laurels and just have one band. I know people that have done that and made entire careers. They played in, a band for 30 years. I've never done a side project, and my brain is always going, and I said I want to do something just old, kind of like early Cannibal Corpse. I started writing riffs, and I hit up Wayne about recording drums for it. So he recorded drums for it in California and sent them to me, and I recorded all the guitars, and we did this demo. It's 4 songs. It's called Maggots in Your Brain. And if you like early, like first 3 albums, Cannibal Corpse, you'd like this. It's like a demo sound of that style of death metal. And I'm really fucking happy with it. This is going to come out on Sunshine Ward. You probably can't read that. Sunshine Ward Recordings. It's a small label out of New Jersey. My buddy Jesse from the band Hellcorrexer runs it. This is like his 2nd or 3rd release. Coming out on tape, 100 copies. And it should be here available any day now. So by the time this video goes up, go check out Sunshine Ward. Go check out our Bandcamp, infestament.bandcamp.com. I'll put it in the description below. But it's just, it's nasty old school death metal, and I hate the term old school death metal. But it's just shit I wanted to play, And since we recorded this a few months ago, we have already recorded another 6 songs. So I'm in the process of mixing that stuff down now, and it'll either become like another EP or something. I've talked to a couple of labels. And we have 2 songs from this session that we didn't use. So there's 2 like bonus tracks floating around out there too. In a very short amount of time, we have recorded, 15 songs already. So that's pretty cool. Short songs, in between like 1.5 to 3.5 minutes. But if you like old school Cannibal Corpse, man, check this out. And that's it. That's all I got for now. I'm recording this while everybody is quarantined because of the coronavirus shit. I am not. I'm going to work every day. My wife is working from home, which is fine, but she's keeping our 4-year-old at home with her throughout the day, which is tough for her to concentrate being on her computer and her phone all day long with him. If you have kids and you have ever had a toddler, they deserve your attention 1,000% of the time. So it's tough for her to work. I'm going to try to take off days and half days and stuff when I can. My job can go from being slow like it is right now to being wide open, super, super busy for days and weeks on end. So it's kind of tough. But I sound sick. I'm not. It's my allergies. I actually went to the doctor today. Here in Georgia, in the eastern part of the United States, it has gotten warm. It's in the 60s, high 60s and 70s. It was in the 80s yesterday. And the pollen is just out of control, and immediately my head fucking closes up, and all this snot has drained into my chest and given me a cough. But I went to the doctor today, and I do not have anything more than that. But I feel fine, so it's just I sound nasty, and I'm snorty. So let's talk about this stuff. I'm gonna hop on with some more collection videos soon, getting our way through the A to Z, and all my records are up here now, so maybe we'll get into some records and tapes, and you may see by what's playing behind me, if anybody wants to guess what it is in the comments, all of my horror movies that I have been teasing you guys with are out of their boxes, and they're now in my room here, put away neatly on shelves, and I've been enjoying watching old horror movies of my little den of iniquity here. So anyway, let's talk about this stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about it. I'll talk to you guys soon.